reaction. Okay, so before that I just want to share my screen. Okay. So today my topic of discussion is acid-base titration. Okay, so basically the students may be interested to know what is acid and base. If their family members are asked them, tell me something about acid base, what you know, then first thing what you will say that the antacid which you are using generally, what are the antacids? Because if in our body some acidity form, we are using some antacids, gelusil, like this type of things to neutralize our acidity. Okay, so we should know the homeostatics of our body. Okay, so basically if we go to our body homeostasis, then we can find that the pH of human body, that is range in between 7.35 to 7.45. So generally the pH of water is 7, we know. So our body pH is little bit basic, so any deviation for 7.35 is called some problem in body. Okay, so if it less than 7.35, then we can say it is acidemia, and if it is above than 7.45, then we can call it as alkalemia. Okay, so basically when we have acidity in our body formed, so what is that? That the pH of the body lowers than 7.35. Okay, so there are several enzymes and everything which maintain the pH level of our body. Okay, this is the general thing in the human body, where constant pH means constant acid base reactions are occurring. Okay, so first now go to today's topic. Okay, so basically to know the acid and base, basically we know everything, but still we have to recap everything, because we are going to do some titration, so we have to know the terms. Okay, where we are going to apply all these things. Okay, that is very important. So basically there are many approaches are there, but only three approaches which will be very fruitful for this topic. That is the classification of acid base, that depends upon Arrhenius theory, and one is on Bornstein-Lowry theory, and another is Lewis acid theory. What is Arrhenius theory? Arrhenius theory means, according to Arrhenius, any substance which in aqueous solution, if it gives H plus, that is called acid, and if it gives OH minus, that is called base. Okay, so HCl basically is an acid because it gives H plus. Okay, it dissociates as H plus Cl minus, so it furnishes H plus ion in solution. What about NaOH? In NaOH, it will dissociate at Na plus OH minus. But later it was found that some substance which does not provide any OH minus, but they are behaving like a base. Okay, according to the characteristics. So then Bronsted-Lowry, they made some another theory where they said that, so acid is proton donor, that means H plus donor, and base are H plus acceptor. That means HCl is acid, and ammonia which can accept H plus, that will act as a base. Okay, but according to the Lewis theory, okay, where there is no role of proton. Okay, in that case, how we will define the Lewis the acid and base? In that case, the electron pair acceptor, if in simple things, H plus also accepting electrons. Why? Because H plus doesn't have any electron in its system. Okay, so it is also a electron acceptor. So basically H plus is an electron acceptor. Rather than H plus, some other substance like BF3, they also accept electron pairs. Like BF3 with NH3, it can accept the electron pair of ammonia to form the adduct, acid base adduct. So according to Lewis theory, any any substance or any atom which is supposed to take electrons pairs, they can act as a acid, and who is donating the electron pair, it is act as a base. Okay, now we will go, because you know that in today's topic we will discuss some strong acid, strong base, like that. So basically, if we will go, if we need to know the strong acid, what is strong acid, weak acid, like that. Okay, so everything is relative, you know. Okay, if you go to the acid base chapter, you will find that there is no dimension of acid base in one protocol. Okay, so if you are using aqueous solution, there will be something is act as an base, or something act as a weak acid. But if you change the solvent, definitely it will change its behavior. Okay, so basically we will talk about aqueous solution. So the strong acid, which that actually means that the acids which will completely dissociate. Okay, so 100% if it will dissociate, that means if we will take 100 mole of substance, we should get 100 mole of H plus. Okay, similarly in case of base, we should get 100 mole of OH minus. So some example of strong acid, HCl, HNO3, H2SO4, HBr, like that. And also strong bases are like lithium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, right, like that. What about weak base? Weak base means the bases which will not completely dissociate. That means incomplete dissociation. That means if you take 100 mole of solution or 100 mole of acid or base, it will dissociate 30%. That means 30% will convert to H plus, 30 mole you will get, and 70 mole the in undissociated acid or base you will get. Okay, so that is like HCN, HF, H2S, HCOOH, like that, that are weak acids. And some weak bases like ammonia, CH3, CC5, so like that. Okay, treating like that. So these all are respective. That means which HCNs you are getting it like a weak acid, but if you change the solvent from aqueous to ammonia solution, it will act as a strong base. So that is completely different thing. But generally we will talk about the strong acid and weak base and aqueous media only. Okay. Now few more things we have to know before going to the experiment, that is dissociation constant. Okay, what is dissociation constant? Dissociation constant means some compound like if strong acid, they dissociate, that will completely dissociate. So okay, so there is no dissociation constant. But generally for weak acid, which will not completely dissociate, in that case we have to know the dissociation constant. Generally dissociation constant is known as K. Okay, the value is very low for weak acids, so that's why generally we are recording the value is minus logarithm value. Okay, like pH. Okay, I will be discussing this later, but generally this is the equation. And if you go to the dissociation constant for water, that is Kw is equals to 1 into 10 to the power minus 14. Okay, so from there if you go to the equation, then you can find pH is equals to 7, or pH plus POH is equals to 30. Okay, now we should know about the pH. Okay, so pH is basically the minus log of H plus. Okay, generally pH in terms of theoretical in terms of theory, we can say the pH abbreviate as power of hydrogen, or more completely power of the concentration of the hydrogen. Okay, so there are many terms which you should know, but simply you just remember pH is equals to minus log of H plus. Okay, so minus log of H plus means what is the thing, what is denotes that higher the concentration of H plus, that means lower the pH. Higher the concentration of H plus, lower the pH. Okay, lower the concentration of H plus will be higher the pH. Okay, so any value, high value means high negative value. Okay, so in anything pH is above 7, that is basic, and pH is below 7, that is acidic. So in litmus solution, if litmus paper, it shows different color like this. I will come to the slides later. In litmus portion, generally carb is like this. For strong acid, like this position, and slowly if concentration of H plus is reduced, then it will go to up to optimal level 7. Then the pH will change, where OH minus concentration will come increase. Okay. Now we should know some common products, okay, and their pH, okay, like battery acid, HCl, stoma. So these are the table where you can find, okay, drain cleaner, oven cleaner, their basic substance generally used for cleaning purpose. You know from the soap chapter, okay, there you can find why this is basic like that. And acid like juice we are taking, all are acidic, okay. And there are, I am not going to the details of this, there are some food substance which you can find different pH level, okay. So next main thing, okay, the most important things, that is indicator. So what is indicator? That means we are going to titrate something, okay, some with acid and base, okay, acid using base or base using acid, okay, we are using going to titrate. So what we can find, we can see that at the end point where the concentration of H plus will be equal to concentration of OH minus, at that time, to know the end point, we should use some indicator which will show or indicate, okay, I know something, okay, that the color has been changed, okay. That means if you go somewhere, okay, so there some map will show you that, okay, after this position you have to stop, okay. So there will be some indicator, okay, you came this position in college, okay, this is the gate of AN college. So there is a indicator in front of the gate AN college Patna. So like that indicator also, like that it will show the end point of any reaction. So acid indicators are generally organic weak acid based substance. It has two forms. Which form? One in acidic form and another is in alkaline form. Okay. In acidic form, like HCl, you know, HCl. But in alkali medium, what it will do? It will dissociate to H plus and indicator. So in acid medium, it will show one color. In alkali medium, it will show another color. Okay. Generally, at a certain pH, the indicator will show its color change at pK indicator plus minus 1. Okay. So pK indicator means the indicator will show a sharp value at that pH. So it will show plus minus 1 in the position of plus minus 1. Okay. So some common examples we should know, that is one is phenolphthalein. We know that phenolphthalein generally, what is the structure of phenolphthalein? This is the structure. Can anybody say about why this is colorless and this is color? Can anybody guess among students? Anyway, I want to say something. See, here you can see there is no conjugation.
सर
very
वहाँ
low
पे जो
conjugation.
O माइनस आयन है उसकी वजह से.
Okay, I will explain. Okay, O minus ion mean actually okay. One thing here mainly what I am going to say, in this window you can see there is very low conjugation. Okay, and what about this? In this case, sorry, in this case there is a long conjugation from here to here. This a long conjugation. So highly conjugated things will come like this. It will be showing color. Okay. So in phenolphthalein case, it is colorless in acid, and in alkali medium, it is so like this color. Okay. Another thing is methyl orange. Methyl. 1 minute, is there is some in remove. Now I think it's visible. Okay. Uh, so this is the methyl orange. In this case, what happened? This is like this. It has also two form. In acidic medium, one type of form, and in basic medium, one type of form. Okay. So in acid medium, in pH 7, pH 2, it is showing like this, and in presence of basic medium, it will show different color. Okay. So another very interesting thing is litmus. Litmus paper is very cheap, and it is generally used in organic chemistry laboratory or any chemistry laboratory for checking the solutions. Solutions. If you want to check the pH of the solution, then you have to use the litmus paper. Okay. So litmus paper generally it will show the color in acidic medium like red, and in basic medium it will show blue color. Okay. So this is the color chart in different pH. Okay. This is the general compound, and there are several indicators. I will share these slides, and you can find there are there are several indicators. Their pH range, that this is the working pH, in which pH it will work, and how much quantity required for showing the or indication, and what is the color in acid medium and what is the color in basic medium. Okay. So this is the some solution, some indicators. Now I will go through the principle of today's presentation. Okay. So that is the acid base titration. Okay. So basically what we will do, we will do some we will be standardize some acidic solution or unknown basic solution. Okay. So if we have to standardize some unknown acid solution or unknown basic solution, so we have to use the acid base titration method. Okay. So acid base titration method, in this case two type of things are there. Okay. One is acidimetry and one is alkalimetry. What is acidimetry? If we want to know the exact concentration of acid, that means we will keep the acid in a conical flask, and we will add a known volume of alkali from a burette. Then we can find get the concentration of acid substrate. Okay. So that is called acidimetry. And what about alkalimetry? Alkalimetry means in that case we will define the concentration, or we will determine the concentration of basic substance. Okay. So when we will do this acidimetry or alkalimetry, we have to use several instrument or several apparatus in our laboratory. Okay. So what are the type of apparatus we should use? Basically, we need one burette, we need one burette stand like this, one pipette, funnel, okay, conical flask, white paper, measuring cylinder, okay, and some acid solution and basic solution. Okay. So maybe if acid solution, unknown solution, and another most important thing is the indicator. Okay. So these are the common things which we should use for acid base titration. Okay. So the things we should remember before doing this experiment, that the burette solution, okay, burette solution, if that is with a base, okay, that could be base or acid, but this will be the unknown solution. Okay. In the next, in the conical flask, it will be unknown solution. Okay. So we have to use indicator, and we have to choose such an indicator that it will show the color in that particular pH. Okay. That means what? If we use strong acid, strong base, it has a end point at pH 7. So we have to choose some indicator which will show color at pH 7. Similarly, if we use strong acid and strong base, okay, strong acid and weak base, okay, in that case also color, what will be the solution, that we have to know. Okay. So what things we have to remember? Strong acid, strong base titration, phenolphthalein indicator. Strong acid, weak base titration. In that case, what happened? Strong weak base, generally what happened? in presence of strong acid, if you see the conjugate acid, okay, for weak base, that is acidic, okay. So generally in that case we can use generally methyl orange, okay. So methyl orange for strong acid weak base, and for strong acid strong base we will use phenolphthalein, okay. And the generally strong acid will react with a weak base to form acidic solution, and strong acid will react with strong base to form a neutral solution, okay. So these two things we will discuss, so we have to remember, okay. So now going to the theory of today's experiment, okay. So basically if we will do some acid base titration, then we have to know the equation N1V1 is equals to N2V2, okay. This is the general formula where N1 and N2 are the concentration of titrant and titrates respectively, and V1 and V2 is the volume of titrant and titrate respectively, okay. So in these three parameters, if you know one known concentration, okay, if you know one known concentration like V1 you know, N1 you know, and N2 V2 you know, so you can easily get N2, okay. So this is the general theory which we will be using. So how now I will going to discuss how you can do the experiment through virtual lab, okay. So first go to the virtual lab window, okay. So I'm going to there first. Okay. Okay. So basically what we will do here, we have to select something, some stock solution, okay. So first what we are going to do, we are going to do strong acid versus strong base, okay. So first we will open the window of strong acid and we will select 0.1 m of HCl, okay. Then we will click here, okay. So here 0.1 molar HCl selected, okay. Next what we will do, we will go to strong base, okay. Then we will select strong base NaOH, okay. 0.1 molar NaOH. We will double click on it, so 0.1 molar NaOH selected. Then we will close this window. Then what we will do, we will open indicator window here and we will select phenolphthalein, okay. We will double click, then phenolphthalein, okay. Next we need some apparatus, as I said, okay. So what we need some apparatus. So we need some glassware, okay. What we need some Erlenmeyer flask, okay. So we will select 1 to 50 ml Erlenmeyer flask. Then we will use one pipette, so we will use 25 ml pipette, okay. Then we will use one burette, 50 ml burette, okay, 50 ml burette, okay. Next what we will do, first these are the things which we need, okay. So first what we will do, we will titrate HCl with NaOH, okay. So first what I will do, we will insert this 25 ml pipette into the solution of 0.1 molar HCl. Then what we will do, see here transfer amount, in the below there is a window, transfer amount. Here we will select 20 ml, okay. Let's select 20 ml. Then what we will do, through pipette we will withdraw, okay. So in 25 ml pipette we can take 20 ml, or maybe you can pour it and you can collect 25, because 1 minute, okay. So we can withdraw 25 ml, okay. So withdraw. So in 25 ml pipette we can withdraw 25 ml solution. Then what we will do, we will convert this in the 250 ml Erlenmeyer flask. Then what we will do, 25 ml we will pour, okay. So here we just pour this solution. Then what we will do? We will keep this aside, and the stock solution we will keep aside. Okay. Then what we will do? We will name this the solution concentration like here. We can name it as unknown solution. This is acid, so we can name is like A1. Okay. Next, what we will do? We will add NaOH in the burette. Okay. How we will do? Okay. We will add NaOH. So this is 50 ml burette. So we can fill 50 ml. Okay. 50 ml we can pour. We can add 50 ml. Okay. So then we can add 50 ml. Okay. So this 50 ml burette is now filled with NaOH solution. Okay. Then we keep aside. Okay. Now what we will write here? This is base solution, 50 ml base solution. We can write, we can rename that this is B1. Okay. B1. Next, what we have to do? We have to select and we have to add here. And how we will add? We will add here through go to the tool transfer bar, then precise realistic transfer. Realistic transfer means you have to add slowly. Okay, slowly you have to add. So how you will add? So see here you can see the burette solution is 50 ml. So if you add slowly, this volume will be reducing. Okay. So what I am pouring like that. See here, volume is okay. Sorry, one thing I just forgot here. I forgot to add the phenolphthalein. Okay, so I will add 0.3 ml phenolphthalein. So I will go to the precise transfer, and then I will add 0.3 ml of phenolphthalein, because without indicator you cannot see the end point. Okay. Next, what we will do? We will slowly add this. Okay. So like this. So now we will transfer this through realistic transfer. So slowly we can transfer it slowly. So as we know here that the concentration of HCl is 0.1 and concentration of NaOH is 0.1. So we know both the solution concentration. So we can add, assuming from N1 V1 to N2 V2, that for neutralizing 25 ml of HCl, we need approximate 25 ml of NaOH. So we can add almost 25 ml. Okay, so we are going to almost 25 ml. Okay, so we are going to 25. See here I am going, see slowly it is going to 40, 39. So slowly the burette solution is reducing and it is going here, and see here color is white. Okay, so when we will add here, okay, so basically we are adding, see now 20 ml almost we have poured here or mixed. Now we will pour another 5 ml. So slowly we will add another 5 ml. Very slowly we will add, and what we will find, see, and this time we have to be very careful. Okay, this time we have to be very careful that almost near about 25 ml we have already added. Okay, so we have to be very careful. We have to add slowly. So slowly, see, check the color of this solution. Okay, slowly. Okay, so now it is almost 25 ml. So we will add some more like this. See, the color changed to red. Okay, we will add some more. See, color is changed to red. Okay, so white color changed to red. That means the end point of the solution now reached. So we will remove this burette. and we can see here 24.9. Okay, 24.9, that means almost 25.1 ml we have added. So now if we want to know the concentration of HCl, we can use the calculate simple formula. What is the formula? N1V1 is equals to N2V2. Okay, so if we go to the next slide, here, so basically what we have done, so what we have done, we have using like this, in place of 24.9 we use 25 point something like this. So the V1 is 1, V2 is 2, if we use almost 1.1 molar. Okay, so if we use 0.1 molar, then that will be 0.1 molar. So like that you can do any type of acid base titration. Okay. So for base solution, for weak base, what you have to use? You have to just change the indicator. In case of phenolphthalein, what will you use? You have to use the methyl orange indicator. Then it will show the color change. Okay. So this is all about acid base titration. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me.